Who all watch Steve Stout on the Pivot podcast? I love listening to Steve Stout talk, but that's just because I'm a fan of the actual music industry. And ever since I was little, I've always wanted to learn as much as I can about like the behind the scenes of rap and hip hop. So anytime Steve Stout does an interview, I always tune in. Now, Steve Stout recently did an interview on the Pivot podcast. I'm not familiar with the Pivot podcast because I'm not a sports fan, and I do know that these are like former athletes. The Pivot is with Shannon Crowder and Ryan Clark, as well as Fred Taylor. I'm not very familiar with the guys, and I'm not very familiar with their podcast, but shout out to them for securing the Steve Stout interview. Now, let me start by saying, is Steve Stout the spokesperson for Jay-Z? And every single Steve Stout interview I've watched, he is defending Jay-Z. This one is no different. He opened up the interview talking about Jay-Z defending his pick behind Super Bowl. I don't know if that's like his only reason for going to the podcast or what, but that's definitely what it's given. So the interview starts with Ryan Clark talking about his disappointment and Wayne not performing at the Super Bowl with him being from New Orleans. Um, and Steve Stout just went into defending Jay-Z's pick. Y'all check out this clip.
It's really important to me. Being from New Orleans, the Super Bowl being in New Orleans this year, you having a relationship with Jay and knowing a lot of the inner workings of how the Super Bowl halftime artist is picked. For all of us, we thought it was a no-brainer. We thought it was going to be 504, Wheezy. He was going to bring up Juvie, Trombone Shorty. It was just going to be a plethora of New Orleans musicians, and then Jay decides to pick Kendrick Lamar. What can you tell us about the process and how Kendrick was picked for the 2024-25 halftime show?
You know, I couldn't tell you the process on what the creative process was. I know, Jay's considering the artist, the performance, the artist's performance ability, what's gonna put forth the best show to 300 million viewers around the world. I mean, that's his role, that's his job, that's the way he sees the assignment. And he chose to go with Kendrick. I mean, Kendrick is an unbelievable performer. It's not like you could knock Kendrick. I mean, I guess that's what some of the hate that was spewing this week was. It was confusing to me because you can't disrespect Kendrick because you chose Kendrick. And naturally, Wayne is hurt. It happens all the time. I've sat there with Jay-Z, the Grammys, he gets nominated for 8 awards and walks away with none. It doesn't feel good. Nobody at that level of success wants to be let down or be told, you're not chosen tonight. But the way Lil Wayne handled it, he's talked about it. He says, man, I was hurt. He admitted it. That's the natural feeling. But then people coming off the top buckle, just starting to say shit like, Jay's a bad person and he has distaste for this person and that person. And, the comments that were being said and that Nicki spearheaded I just think it was wrong and way out of line. And I was surprised that she would be that personal with him, given all the doors and opportunities that he's given us all, and specifically her.
But the Wayne angle would be like, even RC said, he's a New Orleans dude. It's Wayne, it's New Orleans, it's the city, it's the damn gumbo, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that city. Like, the decision should be about I guess, accentuating the area.
That's not typically how it works. You don't pick the act based off the city that they're from. I mean, that's not the criteria they pick the Super Bowl performers from. I mean, let's be honest, man. Don't you think for 1 second we may be slightly spoiled? Jay got into the Super Bowl halftime performances. You think these hip hop acts would be getting picked at all if it wasn't for him? But why are we not celebrating that? Why are we criticizing the decision when he picked Dr. Dre and Snoop and and Eminem and 50 and Mary and did that, or put Kendrick on the big stage so that he and Kendrick to have this opportunity, or others that were picked. Why are we not celebrating that idea? That's the part that's confusing to me.
I love that you brought that up. Isn't that the Super Bowl halftime performance that created the expectation that Lil Wayne would perform in this Super Bowl? Because when you mentioned Dre, it was Snoop, and then from the lineage of Dre and Snoop, we got 50 Cent, who was a part of Interscope and Death Row.
Yeah.
And obviously it went to Kendrick because Kendrick was also working under Dre. And so when we saw that entire performance, it was sort of that Mary J. Blige and Eminem were the outliers, and 50 from not being from New York, but we understood they were all part of Death Row or Interscope in some way, and Mary J. is just the queen of hip hop, right? And so it was the thought process, oh, we saw Jay do that before. Not that it's beholden of him to do that. We saw Jay do that before. Wayne, to many of us, is one of the greatest rappers that ever lived. It just felt like it fit. I don't think Jay is wrong for his decision, but I do believe there was an expectation for Wayne, and I think for a lot of us who are from there, who really thought it would just be great for the city. And I think you overlook the halftime show is probably more for the 300 million people watching the Super Bowl than it is for the city it's taking place in.
Usher in Vegas, right? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, man, the fact that these artists are getting their flowers and are getting their chance to perform on this stage, these black artists, hip hop and R&B artists, if it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So how could you come down and criticize this man like that? To me, it's beyond me. I just don't get that logic. And I will confirm, Drake was offered the Super Bowl twice.
Wow.
Drake did turn down the Super Bowl twice. And I'm sure if Drake would have said yes, he would have brought Lil Wayne out at some point, right? He probably would have brought out Nicki, which is probably why she's upset, because she's not on stage. But Drake turned it down twice. So there's like this, the NFL, somebody spoke to, no. He turned it down twice, which is fine. He didn't want to do it. But nobody's going to say, damn, why'd you turn it down? You could have got Lil Wayne on, right? Nobody's going to connect that dot. The other thing is that no one seems to think about is why isn't Jay-Z picking himself? Like, he's not even being selfish about it for himself. Why isn't somebody saying, man, you know what? He's actually making a decision based off of what he thinks the best performance is at the right time, music, etc., because he's not even using this moment to satisfy himself. He has catalog. He can rock.
Yeah.
He's nice. He's not even choosing himself. To me, that should be celebrated, that he's not being selfish and he's helping these artists and giving them what they deserve and not being selfish about it and choosing only, Rock Nation acts or himself. Because if it was just that, I could understand it. But for it to come down like this is just, to me, shit is corny. And it makes the hip hop community, the black community, it leaves a stain.
I like that Ryan Clark brought up the part about Jay-Z choosing Dre and Snoop them for the LA show. I don't know why so many people online is trying to act crazy about that part of this whole situation. Like, because we seen Jay-Z give that treatment to the LA artists, naturally we assumed that he would do the same for big artists when the Super Bowl was in their city. I don't know why that's like being lost on so many people. But y'all notice he never actually spoke on that part. He just kind of started talking about Jay-Z again and how the people should be appreciative for what he's doing and how Jay-Z isn't even being selfish enough to put himself on the Super Bowl platform. Y'all think we ain't gonna see Jay-Z perform on the Super Bowl halftime show? Jay-Z is a smart man. He thinks. He knew that he couldn't put himself on that stage right after taking over. He plays the long game. In the next few years, we're going to see Jay-Z do a halftime Super Bowl show. And don't be surprised if he do it with just Beyonce. Or he may use that moment, depending on where we at in a few years with Kanye, he may use that moment and do like a whole Rockefeller reunion, excluding Dame Dash, of course. Watch what I tell y'all. We gonna see Jay-Z on the Super Bowl stage. Steve Stoute also confirmed Drake did turn down the Super Bowl halftime show on 2 separate occasions. And with that, he said that maybe that's why Nicki was so mad at Jay-Z. But honestly, y'all, I disagree with that. I think Nicki is simply upset because Wayne said his feelings was hurt.
First of all, I want to say forgive me for the delay. The delay on just the delay. I want to say I had to get strength. I had to get strength enough to do this without breaking. I must say thank you. I must say thank you to every voice, every opinion, all the care, all the love, and the support out there. Your words turned into arms, and it held me up when I try to fall back. That hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about? It hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown, and for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. So I blame myself for that, but I thought that was nothing, I thought that was nothing better than that spot and that stage and that platform in my city. And so it hurt. It hurt a whole lot. But y'all are fucking amazing. It made me feel like shit not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like shit, you guys reminded me that I ain't shit without y'all. And that's an amazing reality. So, like I said, it broke me, and I'm just trying to put me back together, but my God, have you all helped me. Thanks to all my peers, my friends, my family, my homies on sports television, everybody repping me. I really appreciate that. I really do. I feel like I let all of y'all down by not getting that opportunity. But I'm working on me, and I'm working. So, thank you.
I think Nicki just truly considers Wayne a friend. And nobody wants to see their friend in turmoil. So she spoke up like any real friend would do. Furthermore, I don't believe the Nicki is mad because Drake turned it down narrative. Because if anybody be paying attention, it doesn't seem like Drake really mess with Nicki like that. It seemed like he uses her when he need her, but it don't really seem like he messed with her too much. So I doubt if he was on the stage, he was gonna let her share his stage. And I also doubt that he would have brought Wayne on stage too. Maybe if he was offered the stage for New Orleans, he would have brought Wayne out. But in any other city, I don't think that's the case. It don't really seem like Drake too much messed with Wayne. Drake seems to be the social climber. It seems like he uses people to their benefit, for his benefit, and when they no longer serves him, he just move on. That's really what Drake be giving when it comes to Nicki and Wayne. I don't know though, y'all. That's just from my point of view. Guys was not shy about asking him about Diddy. Check out what he had to say, y'all.
Seizure. How do those things sit with you, or what are your thoughts on the way that it's revealed who he was and how people perceive the entire culture of hip hop because of it?
I think it's fair to say that he had a drug problem. He has a drug problem. He hasn't come out and said it publicly. He had a drug problem or has a drug problem. But like first and foremost, I think it's clear at this point. It's fucked up that somebody who's that iconic, we've never seen anything like this before. Somebody of that stature fall from grace right before our very eyes in a short period of time. We've not seen that before. So trying to digest it all, I mean, to the point where they denied him bail. I mean, that's what they denied Harvey Weinstein bail. They denied the kid who hung himself, Jeffrey Epstein, bail.
Yep.
So it's like they're putting him in that category, you know? And it's tough to see because now you know the person, you've seen the person, you've interacted with the person. That's the last thing you expected. So everybody's, you know, the jokes in the beginning was the jokes in the beginning. And then when the tape came out, it was like, oh, shit. What the fuck? This is not like a sexy, freaky party, Rick James, bitch, type of thing. This is really bad. It is definitely a black eye for the culture. And the most important things here is his kids, you know? They lost their mom. Now their dad is going through this. And when you break everything back down to the kids, you think about a family and what's the results, and what is that gonna lead to when you have a mom who passed away and your dad is this public figure who's now in this situation. So I feel for the kids.
Yeah, I think we all feel sorry for Diddy kids. Whether they're actual children or adults, it doesn't matter. They are still his kids. They're affected by all of this. It's sad to see them lose so much in just a few short years. Like losing your mama has to be tough, especially when you're still a teenager. So to then turn around and lose your father too, yeah, we feel bad for them kids. All of them except that King Combs. That's the dark skinned name, right? King Combs. I feel bad for all of the kids but him. That seems to really be Diddy's twin. But yeah, I guess that's another story. Anyways, Steve Stoute, like the few others we've heard from so far that has spoken up about this Diddy situation, says he never saw none of that. He never saw that side of him. I just think it's crazy how it's so many people over the years that have come out and said, don't go to a Diddy party, stay away from Diddy. Academics said that was the first warning he got when he got into the industry, and said that's when he first started to feel like he was really a part of the industry, when they started telling him stay away from Diddy. So it's weird to me that no one has seen this side of him, but everybody knows to stay away from him. Okay, I guess. But Steve Stoute really is a great man, because he also said that him and Diddy was able to make up over the years. Ain't no way in hell I'm making up with nobody that bust my shit with a bottle. I don't care how many years has passed, but his logic was they came up in hip hop together. And honestly, I believe it's that same logic that allowed them to turn a blind eye to all his mess. It's not that they didn't see that side of him. They used that logic. Oh, we came from nothing and we turned this into something. We started making so much money off hip hop. And it's that allowed them to say, it's okay about what he doing. He ain't hurting me. And then they all thought he would never get caught. That's the crazy part too. Like, how does one person have so much power that not only do he believe he's not going to get caught, it seemed like everybody else around him believed he wasn't going to get caught too. It's so crazy to me. Later in an interview, Steve Stoute addresses Nicki Minaj deal with Tidal. He says she never got paid off Tidal because she never signed the paperwork. Now, 4 years ago, the Shade Room did an article where they talked about the investors. It was 16 names listed. Nicki Minaj was included in that. They talked about all the first artists that joined Tidal being paid like $8.9 million or something. I don't know why Steve Stoute took this interview to address her actually not getting paid off a Tidal. But either way, him bringing her up in that interview on more than one occasion is what sparked her new rant of tweets. I'm going to go ahead and read them for y'all. I received a call advising Tidal was sold and they made no money on the deal. So all they could offer me was $1 million. But wait, there's more. The lawyer advised that Desiree advised him that I had to sign the agreement in 24 hours if I wanted the 1 million or the offer was off the table. Listen to the end of fractions for what my response was. So, Barbs, thank you for supporting something I was a part of. I love you, but I was scammed and offered $1 million to be silenced. I declined. The grace of God is sufficient. I didn't need their hush money. LOL, word? One of the blogs that they reportedly have lots of control of? Why is my photo there? Oh, reportedly, huh? LOL, laughing at how people who aren't really smart always believes they are outsmarting smart people. No, it's just that we know karma spins. It really spins. Every day, a new man pushing 60 years of age gets fingered in the pussy, then made to come on this internet and lie on me. God is in control. Bookmark this. I'll advise you to never mention my name again. They got to keep the conversation on me so that no one asks about these charges against their BFF. I mean, it seems the 30-year-old T here is far from stale. Patterns, yet, sass, ugly alien, stout, dick breath, etc. All talking about Onika. Why are they talking about Onikwa? Then one of the barbs chimed in and said they wanted brunch and baby oil. Her response to that was, worried about the tea of a 15-year-old child who was railroaded, but no comments on the tea and baby oil that's been going on for decades and as recent as months ago? If 15-year-olds need to be held accountable and told they can't move past their past, then what about the 30-year-olds who groomed and groomed, sat by and was silent, etc.? Oh, right. Let's keep the blogs focused on Oniqua. Short and stout dick don't want to talk about him. Friend them. LMAFO. Undercover men are always aggravated with women because they have decided they can't live in their truth. Therefore, women who have done nothing wrong to them are made to pay for simply existing. Fix it, Jesus. Enough is enough. Dear short and stout dick, Laffy Taffy alien, dick breath, sass, we want to know if you were present during abuse of teenagers and children. That's what we want to know. You can't taste my pee. Stop. Aaliyah, Foxy, etc. During our Kelly video shoots and stuff. Did you know about the abuse to Kim Porter and Cassie? Y'all seem to always run in a sort of rat pack. So that's what we the people want you and your peeps to speak on. Ugly, bald head, bowling ball, bitch. You niggas don't have this energy for gangsters in person. Only for bitches on the internet. If any of those 4 cunts I named would like to shoot their fair one with a gangster, I'll run the winner of the fight $10 million. Until then, watch the karma spin. 25 men spoke out, but these clowns only talking about me. Every single day, that's how you know I win. Then another barb came and said, Nicki, you finna get us barbs started, and once we start... She responded to that by saying, that's why I tell these people to leave me alone. But no, they rather play. So let's play. Then someone else says, a bunch of niggas dogpiling a black woman. Sounds like you've got a lot of power, ma'am. And she responded, to God be the glory. Someone else says, I agree. Like, why am I expected to care about something that happened when I was 1 year old? Let's address what's happening right now, as in today. Nicki responded to that by saying, Bing fucking go. I was expected to answer for something that happened or didn't happen when I was 10 years old, when I was minding my business in school. Well, we want to know. what was y'all doing at 30 years old to 60 years old? And she finalized the tweets with someone tweeting, Nicki Minaj has now surpassed Jay-Z to become the sixth longest charting rapper of all time on Billboard. She responded by saying, move. Of all those nicknames, like when she was saying Sass and Alien Phase, I know Short and Stout Dick is definitely Steve Stout, but I don't know if all them other names is nicknames that she just came up with for him or if she's addressing more than one person. I don't know. But that was her random tweets. Yeah, Nicki Minaj and Rihanna has got to be the funniest celebrities on the internet. But I'm glad that Nicki Minaj always speak up for herself. She ain't like a lot of these other people in the industry that's keeping hush because they scared to lose an opportunity or miss a job. She always speak up for herself, and I appreciate that. Dash also responded to the things Steve Stout had to say about him in the interview. The main thing for me was when Steve Stout said Dame Dash made a lot of bad investments in himself. But y'all check out what Dame Dash has to say. Apparently, they haven't gotten along for years, and both of them have told the story on why they haven't gotten along on numerous different platforms. Y'all can go to Google or YouTube, Twitter, whatever to find those clips. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't care. But check out what Dame Dash had to say in response to the Steve Stout interview.
My bills might get paid late every now and again, but I'm active. But I don't think that's such a bad thing. I don't think that's an unnormal thing to just want to be a boss, to just want to be independent. And it's free. America knew it's free. Don't get it twisted. America knew it's free. So I don't know why everybody wants to send certain people. There's certain people that always are defending certain people and talking about me. And I know that they're sent to do it. And Steve Stout's one of those pause, burger face, stupid ass, will do anything anybody tells him for $1, hate his culture. And I just want to know who sent you, but you're making it obvious. And why you won't leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? Is reasonable not worth what? It depends on how you look at it. Like, to me, if you look at it as an art piece, yeah, it's worth a lot. If you look at it for the bread it generates, no, it's not worth, what I'm asking. Nope, not at all. And I think that's clear. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I didn't go to those parties. I'm sorry. I went to one in the Hamptons about 20 years ago with Aaliyah, but that's about it. But a lot of people were at those, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's crazy because people will sit there and watch people do things that could be immoral, but until they get caught, no one says anything. Whether it's illegal or immoral. For me, I just break out. I don't wait for people to get busted. I don't wait for someone else to say that they're doing something wrong. If something is against my moral fabric, then I'm moving on. And, I make a choice to maybe walk away from some money or walk away from a relationship or a certain kind of financial opportunity just because my moral fabric it means more to me than that. And that's just who I am. But when I see people embracing immoral things and people that get things from immoral ways, and then they kind of they knock a person that's going to give an honest fight, even someone that's fighting for you. That part is what I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand. But at any rate, if you understand what us having our own platform is, and doing it in a way where you owe nobody nothing, where you have not put yourself in a compromising position to get something, where our culture can showcase our creativity freely and we can monetize fairly, where we'll know the data and the full CPM, we'll know exactly who's getting paid, how they get paid. I just don't understand why that would not be embraced if it's understood. So the only thing I can say is I guess it's not understood. You know what I mean? It's like a new drug that no one smoked yet. They haven't been high off of it, so they might discredit it. But, I mean, think about what this looks like in a couple of years when we really get going, you know? So when I approached doing a record company, I was like, yo, I don't want to have a record deal. I don't want a record deal. I need to be the record label. And people thought that was outrageous. And they didn't understand why I was fighting so hard to have a label. Like, someone sent me a clip of, this Steve Stoute dude still talking about me. And you have to think to yourself, why would this dude that has some United Masters, he's doing his own thing, why is he doing interviews talking about me smacking him, 20 years ago? And to me, there just must be an agenda. There must be a conversation like, yo, you got to go out there. You got to go talk shit about him. I mean, I understand that I would be aggravated if somebody smacked me too. But he's like making up stories. He's lying. He said that I ran from him. And of course that's going to trigger me because that's ridiculous. Like I would run from him and Rocky was there. So it's like, I'm like, damn, why are these guys talking about me? There must be a conversation and an agenda to try, or I must have some people shook because I might have something that someone doesn't have. And, I'm not the kind of guy that lets somebody smash me on the head with a bottle and then go take a picture with him a couple of years ago like he did. I'm just not that guy. So again, people sometimes make it obvious when there is some degree of a conversation and an agenda to making sure that people look at me a certain way. But let's just look at what I'm trying to do and look at what I've done and look at what I continue to do all on my own. And yeah, you know why I'm not going to certain parties. You know why I'm not going to be in certain crowds. I'm just not tolerant of certain things. That's all. I'm just not tolerant of certain things. Steve got hit in the head with a bottle. And then he sued the person that hit him in the head with a bottle.
So yeah, it definitely seems like Steve Stoute went on the Pivot podcast just to be Jay-Z's spokesperson. When Jay-Z hurt Wayne's feelings, the culture spoke up, and it seems like Jay-Z's feelings may be hurt now because the culture did not ride for him the way we usually do. So he had to send Steve Stoute to be his spokesman. That is what I got from it all. Because he wasn't promoting anything. Unless he was there promoting United Masters. Other than that, he didn't talk about anything else. So it's really given he was there to take up for Jay-Z. If y'all find this video, which I hope y'all do, drop down in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm trying to build a community online where we can just discuss different topics, trending topics, wild things that may go on the internet. I'm just looking for a group that I can talk about these things with. So if y'all come across this video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let's get the dialogue going. Bye.